Blessed Star family, welcome. New moon in Leo. The energy is intense. You are not alone. I have been in a heat wave. I don't like being hot. I am a lot of fire in my chart, a lot of Sagittarius. I am very Sagittarius heavy in my chart. Um, so, uh, Whenever this time of year comes around, summer, usually around like now is like when it's like we only got like 1 month left of summer, on the calendar. Uh, it's just, I feel a little unglued, a little unraveled, in the Northern Hemisphere. Summer, I love summer and I hate summer at the same time. I mean, it's like, winter's the same way. Like, I've always been more partial to the spring and the fall. I like that the weather changes and you have some days that are really warm and some days you can be more cozy. But when it's just like hot, 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 or like cold, 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 it doesn't work for me. And I'm just finding out a lot of things about myself. So today I wanted to talk to you guys. The Native Spirit deck wanted to come in, which I was really grateful because the land that we are on is sacred Native American territory. So, moonstone, moonstone, moonstone. This land, this tribe, this particular tribe of where we are living, like the land has been here, like recorded, like over 1100 years. That's a really long time. And since I've been on this land, anybody who's come on this land has had complaints of some kind. They're like, there's something wrong with that. There's something there. I mean, I even was like, Spirit, is this an ancient burial ground? But the tribe's still here. The reservation's just right down at the bottom of the hills. So, I mean, no, they're here. They would never do that to their people. You know what I mean? It's way too sacred. It's way too sacred of energy. And I feel like Spirit is trying to get us to come back to who we are in the native spirit energy. Um, I have been extremely uncomfortable in a lot of ways. My energy has been depleted, pushed, pulled, expanded. We're still not in the house. We haven't even begun cleaning or painting yet, which is really frustrating. But I know everything is on Spirit's time, and I'm doing my best to just go with the flow of that. But it's been really difficult. And I have never longed for alone time or space as I have in the last like week or two, and it's not aligning with like other energies and entities in my orbit, and it's been really hard for all of us because we're all feeling the same way. And and it's nothing personal, it's just kind of like, hey, I'm fucking depleted. I can't give anymore. I can't help anymore. I can't give anymore. I can't give you something I don't got. That's it's always been my thing. I can't give you something I don't have. That's all of us, right? I mean, even my clothes, like this is like my scarf and I'm wearing like one of my favorite little skirts, but it's like, I mean, it's like, it's so hot, and my clothes that I would normally wear when it's hot, they're just not comfortable to me anymore, or they're like dirty and I don't feel like washing them. I've just been like, it's in that yeah, I don't know if you guys are feeling this too in the Northern Hemisphere if you have summer, but it's like, I'm just done. I've just feel like I've been pushed and pulled, and just feel really exasperated. On top of all that, we lost one of our tribe members a week ago Sunday on the 6th, and that has been really, it's been so bizarre for me, because in my, in this way, like I know absolutely positively they're okay. Like I've been talking to them, they're fine. They're actually better than fine. They're where they're supposed to be. But it's always the ones that are here. We're the ones struggling. We're the ones that have to pick up the pieces when people leave. And it teaches us a lot about ourselves and about strength. So if you're having any loss in your life, I mean, obviously some of you are, you know who I'm talking about. But then for others of us, I mean, it could be anything. It could be Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you lost your home. Maybe you broke up with somebody. Maybe you're not getting along with your family or your friends. Listen, it's really tough out there. Um, Beyond the retrogrades and all that, okay, beyond like all that, like in the supermoon energy and all that, because the sun the moon is closer to the earth, that's why they call it a supermoon, so it's more intense, right? Mercury is the most intense of the planets for retrogrades because it's the closest to us. I mean, there's all of these things, but both, the north and the south node have changed signs. I mean, we are going through a significant change astrologically. The planet is not the same. Everyone is in upheaval. I've been trying to avoid the news, but then I saw what's been going on, with our 45th president. I don't like to say their name just because I don't want to. But you know who I'm talking about? And I'm like, wow, they may actually go to jail. I'm like, this is kind of exciting. And not exciting like I want someone to go to jail, but like it's like, that's exciting that like finally people are going to be held accountable for the fucking shit that they're doing. And so, with that being said, it's the same for us. We need to be accountable for the shit that we're doing, for the things that we're saying, for what we're putting out there. I don't even know myself lately. One minute I'm like this sweet little angel and I feel like myself and I'm happy and I'm giddy and I'm in my fairy. The next minute I want to rip everybody's fucking gizzards out. I kicked in my fucking screen door and broke it. It was either that or like I just like had, I don't know, I'm just gonna tell you, like I had this knife and I was so mad. I was like, "Argh," and I like stabbed it like into the counter, like I'm like, what is happening? Like I feel violent. I feel, but because the heat, it's the, it's been over 90 degrees, and in the RV that we're living, we have some shade, but not really. And in the hottest part of the day, we are being like cooked in here. So it gets like it's like 110 degrees in here. It's really, really hot. It's uncomfortable. And I can't really go, I can go outside, but it's not much more comfortable. So I just feel like it's a level of uncomfortability that each of us are being tested. Like I live in this environment, in this climate that I live in, because days like the last 3 or 4 days are not common. It happens, but it's not common. And when it happens, I just have to deal with it. But it's how I deal with it. And, then I've been feeling all this shame and like hatred towards myself for my behavior towards myself and others. And I'm just like, what is happening? And Spirit's like, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. Like they've been like giving me all these hints. I'm like, yes. Or like, yes, our shadow. It's like really, our shadow is like in our face and prevalent because the light is so bright. So when we're feeling the light and the bright, and we're like, I feel great. I feel great. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's like there's a shadow on our face. It's like, I don't, get out of here, shadow. And we're trying to avoid it. And they're like, no, look at the shadow. Why are you mad? Why are you angry? Why are you fuming? Why do you want to punch somebody? Why do you want to stab something? Like, what the fuck is going on? You're clearly not, because I'm just feeling really triggered. Like I'm feeling really triggered on multiple levels, like where, you know, um, I really thought I can handle things. But then I realized like I am fucking human here. And when you're human, you can only handle so much. And it's not for us to like, be down on ourselves or be, I mean, this last year has been one of the hardest years of my entire life living off grid like this. I have gone through bouts of depression that have been so harsh. At the same time, people are still clawing at me like a fucking life raft. Lula, 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 Lula. And I'm just like, you guys, I love you, but like, I gotta breathe. I gotta breathe. I'm fucking human too. Like, everyone's well, I don't want to like make, not a martyr, but but a lot of people are used to me being very strong. I'm used to being very strong. I am very fucking strong. And I can hold a lot of weight for a lot of things and a lot of people. I can hold a lot of space. But I too can take up your energy, your oxygen, your space, and not realize I'm doing it when I'm in the life raft and I'm drowning mode. And that's what I realized, that everyone around me is in the life draft drowning mode. But the weird thing is, my husband and I, like, we were for a while, but then we were actually feeling really, really, really good. And then I started to notice like all these little patterns of things that have been happening over the last few weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I had all of these breakthroughs of, in the last like 24 hours of like things that are going on, things that are happening, what needs to change, why this is happening, why we keep getting triggered. And also there's like a comfortability about the triggers and the trauma and the chaos, because if we're used to living in the triggers and the trauma and the chaos, if we're used to that, if that is our natural state and we have to fight to be happy, we have to fight to live in a prosperity mindset, then it makes sense that when we're trying to shift our thinking and we're trying to shift the way we look at the world, that we're trying to shift like everything about ourselves, that old stuff, the patterns are like, no, no, even though it sucks and it's bad for us, there's a comfortability in a pattern. It's fucking weird, but it's true. Even if it's like, I mean, let's put it this way. There's been some things that have been going on lately that I realized like I've just been putting up with, or I've just been dealing with, and then spirit's like, okay, let me put it to you like this. If someone was pummeling you every day, if they were like beating you up every day, would you still be dealing with it? And I'm like, no. And they're like, so why are you allowing the mental and the emotional abuse to happen? That was a hard one, me included. So I might not be punching people, but I'm not being so kind with my words, or I'm not being so kind with my energy, or, you know, so this is how I work through my things. I work through my stuff, and then I just tell you guys about them, and you take what you need, you leave behind what you don't. And thank you for witnessing me, and thank you for being a part of this tribe. But I just want you to know that you're not alone, and that, people like myself, it doesn't matter how fucking gifted we are, touch, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. We are still fucking human. We are still fallible. And if we are not open to, like, I may be mostly malleable energy, but if I'm not like actually changing and staying in a fixed energy or a stagnant energy or a stagnant state, I'm going to post something. I actually saw something today, or maybe last night when I was going to bed, really powerful from this astrologer. I'll post it in the community section so you guys can see it. Go check it out. But it really, really made a lot of sense to me. I like her. It's funny. I don't really like watching her things or anything, but I love her posts. It's like Steve Noble. Like I started listening to his meditations again. I'm like, yeah, I feel like no, but I love his posts. Like he's a great writer. He's a great cheerleader. He's a great inspiration. But like, I feel like whatever that is, like at least for now, like maybe someday I'll go back to it. But I do my own meditations. I do my own stuff, and I'm in a different energy field than I was before. I feel like he really helps people who are just coming into their awakening, or people who are like kind of like they're woke, but they're being shaken. Their beliefs are being shaken. I feel like it's something like that. Anyway, so let's read some cards. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Also, can I just say happy? Oh, White Buffalo is on the bottom. Can I say happy birthday, Amber? Actually, if you have a birthday, feel free to comment below. But yesterday was Amber's birthday, I believe. Next Tuesday is Jules' birthday, and the following Tuesday, I believe, is Jessica's birthday. So we have 3 birthdays, and we've got Leos and Virgos in our tribe. So blessed birthday. Ooh, okay. Ooh, when I looked down, it was 1313, number of the goddess, right? So blessed birthdays to our Leos and our Libras. And for those of you who, Leos and Libras, Virgo, sorry, Virgo, almost forgot you there. Almost like forgot you were there. But you know what's interesting? I feel like Virgo feels like that. Do you feel like that, Jessica? Virgos? Any other Virgos in the tribe? Do you feel like that? I've felt that a lot from my Virgos, that they feel like they're kind of left out. Let's drink some water. Stay hydrated, people. Stay hydrated. I lit some cedar earlier, but I'm going to light some more now. Anyway, we just got to own our shit. I thought for sure they were going to ask us to go to the dark mirror, because I'm like, man, I am a dark bitch. Like, I am a fucking mean, awful, bully, jerky. I say horrible things. One of our friends had to witness a fight between Alder and I the other day, and it's like an out-of-body experience. Like, I don't even feel like it's me. Are you guys going through that? Like, where like my energy is just so fucked up. Also, I've been like getting down on myself because I haven't been working out or taking care of myself the way I normally do. And I'm just, it's like almost like if somebody else isn't going to beat me up, I got to do it for me. Like, I said this to Alda the other day. I'm like, you may not be talking to your mom, but like, you're still letting her like control like your energy and the way you look at the world, blah, blah. And I'm like, funny. So am I. My mom I mean, God love her. But she is mean, and she'd go for your jugular, and I do the same thing, and I fucking hate that about myself, and I shouldn't say that, but it's true. But I don't hate myself. I just don't like that part of myself. I've been wanting to die again, and anytime I want to die, it's just because a part of me needs to die. A part of me is like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, this isn't you. You're not being yourself. Offerings. Oh, what a pretty card. I always love this card. Oh, when I looked down, it was 15, and then it was like, it's almost like I couldn't see the other numbers. So 15, or in reverse, is 51 tribe members. This came up in the Healer of the Ages. Speaking of, if you haven't seen it, I know I haven't posted a reading in a while, but if you haven't been over to the Magical Medium, I actually just posted a new pick a reading for the Lionsgate portal. It was kind of like a Lionsgate portal wrap up, and like the rest of the year, and like what is going to be going on over the next year till the next Lionsgate portal. Thank you, birds. So beautiful. The birds are so beautiful right now. But loving ourselves, like we can hate something, but don't hate ourselves. And I know hate is a very strong emotion, but you're allowed to feel that emotion and then let it go, because we are from love. We are derived from love, but we've been in this such dark, 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 dark energy for so long. For so many centuries, we've been in this dark energy that spirit is like, stop beating yourself up for stuff that you can't control. And stop making other people responsible for your happiness, your joy, your comfort. It's not other people's responsibility to make you comfortable, to make you happy, to fulfill whatever is missing in your life, Okay, so because the book just opened to White Buffalo, I have to read it. Oh, it also opened up to Wounded Healer. Yeah, man, we're feeling beat to fucking shit. But at the same time, if they didn't think we can handle it, it's like our tribe member that left. It's not that they were like, I can't handle it. It's like, no, it's like yes and no. They just needed to be in the light, because that's where they fucking thrive. And right now we need them just as much on the other side, and another dimension, and another place, as we needed them here, right? Anyway, there's so much to be said still. So, White Buffalo, abundance and security are flowing into your life. All things are possible. Balance and harmony prevail. You must believe this, Spirit said. We must believe it, right? It's like Tinkerbell. It's like we got to do the clapping where it's like, you're like, we love you, we love you, we love you. But it's hard when you're in the darkness, right? Because you just want to cry and you want to scream. But that's good. Get it out. But then come back to the light. Like yesterday, it's like I was like, no, I don't want to say I believe in magic and miracles. But I do believe in magic and miracles. It's like one doesn't like dissipate because the other one, you know what I mean? It's like magic and miracles are still happening when you're angry and you're pissed off. That's a magic and miracle too, that you have the ability and the energy to feel that deeply, to be that angry, to feel that passionate. That means that something is about to change. So be excited about it, right? It's just like we're at that end where we're like, you may be called upon to stand up for others, but you can do this because you have the support of many beings in the spiritual realm. Your native spirit wants you to know, in Native American traditions, there are prophecies about the coming of the white buffalo, especially among the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota, or the quote-unquote Sioux tribe. There's a legend that White Buffalo Calf Woman, a mystical being, came to the people a very long time ago when they were out of balance. She gifted the people with a sacred bundle containing the White Buffalo Calf Pipe to help restore the balance. Upon leaving, the White Buffalo Calf Woman prophesies that she will return at the end of an age, and that she will appear as a white buffalo calf. In recent times, white buffalo calves have been born, leading many to believe that this is the beginning of a new time. When this card chooses you, it's an honor, for it speaks of a time of miracles and balance in all things. You are a channel for the greater forces in the universe. With their help, all is possible, but without it, things can be a struggle. Don't turn away from your practice, they're saying. But without it, things can be a struggle. Surrender to support from the Great Spirit. You do not have to do everything alone. The journey is shape-shift into the white buffalo, and the energy this card brings will multiply tenfold. Imagine that you can feel the power in your muscles and the fecund earth beneath your hooves. Feel the weight of your horns and the warmth of your hide. This calls the deeper energies of white buffalo into your life. So yes, and we're going to read offerings. So You know, it's also get out of the victim mode. It's really easy to get there. You know, it's like, oh, this is happening. Why isn't this happening? Why isn't it? No one's, doing this, or why this person's upsetting me. Today I had a moment where I just had this breakthrough. I was just like, you know what? I believe that at this point, too much has just gone what's the word, Spirit? Unaccounted for. You know, it's one thing to be spiritual. It's another, I call it yoga pants energy. We all get there, right? Where it's like, you could wear the yoga pants all fucking day, but unless you're doing the yoga pants, you're not going to get into shape. You know what I'm saying? It's like the spiritual thing. And what I realized is that when I was doing, like, let's put it this way. When I was doing the readings on a regular basis on the magical medium, it was so easy for me to stay in my light and for me to stay in my purpose because I was constantly in it. But the challenge over this last summer has been for me to, not be in it, but be in it. I haven't been practicing every day, but I'm still like doing my meditations, walking outside, doing my tapping, like doing stuff. But like I haven't been doing it like on the regular, like every single day, in and out, blah, blah, blah. Because I've been really busy. There's been a lot of people around me. Like I feel like I just haven't had time to be quiet. And I'm the type of energy and entity and light worker that needs a lot of time alone, that needs a lot of time, not like just, constant. And it's been overwhelming. So if you're going through that too, this is a wake-up call from Spirit to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself in whatever means you need to. I remember when I was both when I was on the road and when I like lived on my own in the city and I didn't have a car, but I've also lived out in the country and didn't have a car. I would walk 2.5 miles each way just to get food. I would take the bus. I would get rides when I can get one, but mostly I just walked and explored and like just like did my own thing, and it really, really helped me. So maybe don't drive. Maybe walk instead. Like or if it's the opposite, like be like, hey, can I borrow a car? Like to a friend, and be like, what kind of insurance do you have? See if you can get insurance. It's kind of expensive, but like, or rent a car. Rent a car and take yourself on like a 2-day road trip. There's just all these things that you can do. Or if you have a car, go camping by yourself. Get out into nature, get away from everybody. It's very easy to be influenced from people, especially from work, or if you live in the city, just walking past people, all their energy. Right now, people don't even know what the fuck's going on. If people are not awake to what's happening spiritually on the planet, then they are just like wandering around like blah, 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 blah. Like they don't know what the fuck's going on. They're trying to do the same things they've been doing for centuries and through their lineage or whatever and their ancestry, and it's not fucking working. And they're like, I don't know what's happening, right? So that can be really, really debilitating if you're around people like that all the time. So the offering says, the universe is grateful for you. You are a gift to the world. Feel gratitude for everything in your life, even the things that don't seem perfect. Appreciation for everything flows through you in great bounty. Cherish the preciousness of life and everyone and everything around you, and thus you will be cherished. Your native spirit wants you to know, interesting Freudian slip. Every native culture throughout history has made offerings, often on a daily basis. Offerings were made to the sun, the earth, the plants and animals, and to everything in creation. The offerings varied culture to culture, but they were always made with a feeling of extreme appreciation for the bounty of life. Gratitude was the secret to a joy-filled life. True thankfulness can work like modern-day alchemy in your life, yielding happiness and peace beyond imagination. And it's simple. Throat chakra. Who's not giving appreciation out there? Are you like, why should I be grateful? Look at my fucking life. My life sucks. Why should I? And Spirit's like, do you have breath in your lungs? Do you have food? Do you have water? Do you have the essentials? Do you have access to them? Because there's a lot of people in this world that don't. There are a lot of countries that are at war. There are a lot of people who are being held against their will right now and are being used for human trafficking and horrific purposes. If you're watching this right now, you are richer than most, and you should be in the deepest of gratitude. And this message is to all of us. I feel like Spirit is channeling that to all of us right now. It's not a tongue lashing. It's a Pull your fucking bootstraps up. You got this. You're a fucking warrior. You wouldn't be here otherwise. It's okay to be in the woe is me for a minute, but then we fucking get back up and we start again. Okay? So gratitude was the secret to a joy-filled life. True thankfulness can work like modern-day alchemy in your life, yielding happiness and peace beyond imagination and abundance, Spirit said. And it's simple. Find what's good and wonderful in every moment, no matter what's happening around you. There's always something to be grateful for. Whatever you appreciate in life will grow. So discover what you're thankful for, even the people and situations you found challenging, and watch miracles unfold. The journey is, as a suggestion, make an offering to whatever nurtures your soul. If you're nurtured by a particular place in nature, for example, you might consider leaving some fruit at the base of a tree for the animals in that area to give thanks for the beauty that is there. It's also on page 67, which is the number 13, which is the number of the goddess. So when I was walking with one of my shamans, Layla, I walked with her for 2 years. When you hear me say that, when you walk with a shaman, that means that you study under them. You take in their tutelage, and and we went through different stages, and then we went to a place where we had to part ways. She had to let me go off on my own, and I didn't talk to her for a long time after that. Maybe a year or so, could have been longer. I literally don't remember now. It's been a minute. But it needed to happen that way, because even though I'd come into my gifts and things were good, I was also being really arrogant and very selfish and very demanding on others. I didn't realize it. It was actually one of the times that I had gone home to travel, and I didn't realize like how much I was putting pressure on other people until like they had to like tell me to my face, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? You're putting a lot of pressure on me, blah blah blah." And then my shaman, like I even like complained to her about it, and she was like, "Listen to me." She said, "If you want to walk the old way like I do," she's like, "then that means you don't leave a footprint. You don't make a sound. If someone invites you into their home, if someone invites you to dinner, if someone gifts you something, you don't keep asking for more." She's like, "You take care of yourself. You don't, you know, you go there and you leave it better than you found it. You leave it cleaner than you found it. You leave the energy better than you found it. You don't go there to dump your shit off on people." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I had no idea what I was doing. And it was really powerful. And so the last week, I feel like I've been hearing her in my head with a lot of situations that have been going on around me. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. So there's also a scarcity mentality that's out there right now. People are getting really freaked out. But there's so much abundance on the planet. It's just that the scarcity mentality that's happening is of old. It's like it's old stuff, right? Because that's how they kept us in line. That's how they kept us controlled. If we're fucking terrified, if we're scared, it's a lot easier to control somebody if you're like, well, you're not going to get that unless I give it to you. You're not going to blah, blah, blah unless I bring you. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, instead of just like living in like your truth, or like living in like what works for you, you know? Everybody is beating to their own drum right now, every single one of us. And I can sit here and talk a big game with you guys all day long, but I just fucking told you I'm struggling too. We're all struggling. So stop trying to be perfect. Just be. Pay attention to astrology. Maybe I can lead you to a few astrologers who I really love. But astrology's been a gift lately, because whenever I'm really not sure like why I'm feeling a certain way or what's going on around me, sure as shit there's like something, and I can feel the darkness and the venom that's been coming out of me. And it's almost like I feel like I've been warning everyone in my orbit. I'm just like, hey, I'm just letting you guys know, like, I'm really fucking tired. I'm really depleted. Like, you need to all like take care of yourselves. I'll need to like, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like I've been putting it out. And then it's like, it just kept coming back to me. And then I just was like, whoosh. And it's interesting because like a few days before, 2 snakes came into my path, and very close to, in vicinity, within my walk. I was walking, with one of my friends and a sister, and I was like, wow, it's so interesting. And one was kind of sluggish and barely moving, and I'm like, did they just eat? Are they dying? We weren't sure. The other one was like really quick and ready to move on. And I thought it was such an interesting analogy about what's going on right now, because I feel like I'm in this place where like I'm on the land, I have the house, I have the keys, and I just want to fucking get in there, and I want everybody to get the fuck out my way. I want everybody to get the fuck out my way. And that's me being kind of a brat. You know, I'm kind of like, I've been waiting for this for so many years. And I'm like, I don't fucking have the energy or the willpower or the time to fucking wait for you and you and you and you and all of these things to align. And then Spirit was like, oh, grasshopper. And literally yesterday, all these grasshoppers were like jumping in front of me. They're like, you have abundance under your feet. You are loaded with abundance. I'm the one that was telling everybody last week, it's all good. We don't have to rush it. It'll all happen in Spirit's time. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And then I started to like fucking melt the fuck down. Mostly because of the heat wave. But the irony is the house gets just as fucking hot. I would have had no reprieve there either. So like there's no quick fix, you know what I'm saying? There's no magical fucking wand. We put our manifestations out there. We put the, you know, but in the regular state, we have to in the most powerful way we can. We must stay in a high vibration. And when we're in the dark, it's best to avoid others and just stay in our energy until we work through it. Because the other thing that I was noticing is that misery loves company. And I was raised in a very large family. I had a lot of friends. I always had a large family on both sides of my parents, and both sides of my parents and my friends. I always had like groups of friends, large groups of friends, communities, you know. But what happens when you get around a lot of people? A lot of people start putting their own input into a situation, which is perfectly fucking fine. That's their level of consciousness. That's what they're putting in. Sometimes the input is wonderful. It's great advice. And we're like, oh, thank you. I needed that. Wow. Thank you so much. Other times people put input that is affected by their own consciousness, their level of consciousness and their experience. Now, if their experience is negative, then they're going to give you more of a negative kind of advice, right? Like, well, in my experience, you know, blah, blah. And then it's like, then you start thinking about it, right? Then it's like the snowball effect. So be mindful of watching too many readings, you know, pulling too many cards for yourself, looking for outside sources. Because I mean, I can't say this and stress this enough. There is no one that's going to give you better advice than yourself and Spirit. You know, and if you're in meditation, this is just a scarf, so it's like doesn't want to stay up. I'm like trying to hold it up. That's why you see me trying to do that, because I'm like, I don't want to. It's not gonna fall down and whatever. You saw my boobs, but it's not. That's fine. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I just feel like I'm like this lighthearted, silly, joker, loving, you know, whatever. But I'm also, I will fight to the death for you. I'm a dragon. You know, it's like, don't be in my fucking orbit. Don't watch my videos. Don't watch my fucking readings if you don't want to hear the fucking truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. And it's from my level of consciousness at that moment. Right now, it's a little heated. We're in Leo season. We just had new moon in Leo, but we're going to be going into the earth, into the Virgo energy in a week, and we're all going to feel so much fucking better. I have to show you something that's really interesting. So some time ago, I was doing a reading for you guys, and you may have you may remember it. But do you remember when my journal caught fire? And it was early on, and I remember it was like I was trying to show you guys something like my writing in my journal, my calendar. Like I was trying to show you some messages from Spirit to take a screenshot, and I didn't realize it, and I had it like, you know, like this as I was showing you guys, but it was like on the flame. So it did occur to me the other day, like, that it was the worst part was in August, but I have to show you. Where the worst part is. So now we had the full moon on the 1st, right? It was a super moon. And we had that in Aquarius, right? Now we're going to have on the 31st, we're going to have the full moon, super moon, blue moon. And a blue moon just means that it's another full moon in the same moon cycle. It just means, or if you have a new moon, when they call it the dark moon, it just means that like you have 2 new moons in one moon cycle. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. That's why they call it once in a blue moon. So it's not about the color. Sometimes it can be, but I just think it's really fucking interesting that like it starts to clear up right here. And Mercury will still be in retrograde, but I thought that's so fucking interesting, right? Like, and it started, like, really, really started to burn. Right here. And right here on August 1st, I mean, I can't make this shit up. And those of you who watch my readings, you know, like, it's fucking crazy, right? So, with that being said, and then like with the Lions getting like all these transitions and changes, and then it's gonna fucking clear up, which everyone has been saying that when Venus goes direct on Moon Day on September 4th, it's going to get better because love, Mercury is going to be in retrograde. Yeah, but like Venus is in retrograde. And when Venus is in retrograde, when she's supposed to be in Taurus and this loving, like home, beautiful energy. So I told him, I said, I don't think we're going to move into the house until September. I kept seeing all last year. I kept seeing for this year, I kept seeing August, October, December, August, October, December. I kept seeing it over and over in my actual cards, in my own deck, and then in other things. And I was like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? But it makes sense, you know, why all this is happening. And like, we have to go through all these massive changes and transitions. And, you know, I mean, it's like my husband and I are back to like, do we want to be married? Do we want to be together? Like, not that we don't love each other. We're just like, you know, is it, you know, is it the house? Are we blaming it on the house, or is it really like us? And so I just have this feeling that we're meant to get in the house, and then I feel like he's meant to go away for a while, like, and I'm gonna be okay, and I'll be, you know what I mean? It's just very interesting, and I feel like I need to be alone on the property by myself, like just like where I can like just paint and decorate and do what I love to do, like be myself, be my artist, be my witch, you know, nest, like really get in there, because that is like part of who I am, you know? And I feel like I need space, I need to breathe, I need time. So if you're feeling like that too, it's very natural. There's a lot going on. I mean, there's so much going on that I'm not an astrologer. I would just be like, you know, literally like paraphrasing, like, you know, so just go research it yourself. Also research the blue jay. The tufted blue jay is the one that has been, you know, coming around lately for one of our tribe members who's staying with us, and for myself. And when she and I were walking, I found a blue jay feather, and I just heard right away like tufted blue jay, and that's the bird that came to me when my father died. So look up the blue jay. They're in the corvid family with the ravens and the crows. They're very magical, and they have something to say too. So if you've been seeing blue jays or seeing blue feathers or anything like seeing feathers, like the angels are trying to talk to you. They're trying to break through, and they're saying it's time to burn away that part that no longer, you know, is serving you. I only have, I think, like one more minute. So do we have any other closing cards or any closing no, that they're just saying like also be mindful that we're in the shadow of the retrograde of Mercury going retrograde, right? So Virgo and Mercury is going retrograde at the same time that we're going to be switching from Leo to Virgo. They're giving us these, what I just heard from Spirit is they're giving us these massive transitions to test us. And it's not, it's like, I remember one time one of our tribe members said, she kept using the word test. I'm like, stop saying that. I hate that word. I'm like, I hate that word. Cause I guess I'm thinking that like school, like I don't like to be tested. I don't like to be tested. But then I realized, you know, there is something to that. Speaking of white buffalo, if she's watching this, she'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because she pulled the white buffalo, that card, that time. But so work with the white buffalo spirit medicine, work on your gratitude, build an altar. And getting back to my shaman Layla, you know what the number one thing she taught me about gratitude is every time, even if she peed in the woods, she dropped some nuts there. You know what I mean? Like that's from her, you know what I mean? So it's like, take good care of yourselves and each other and the environment and spirit. And, you know, when I make food, I make a little bit for spirit. I make a bite. I make a little thing for spirit almost every time I eat something, but definitely at least once a day when I have my one meal, I always set something aside for spirit. So do the same. I promise you the abundance will come back to you. All right, I got to go. I'm going to get cut off. I love you so much. Check out my other channel. Check out the new picker reading. Until next time. Bye. Love you.